Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. As always, if you're new here, thanks for coming around, and if you're old here, thanks for sticking around. Today's video is going to be about some fall palettes that I picked out of my collection due to this page right here. I was flipped. This is courtesy of Elle magazine. I was not sent the page. I just ripped it out of the Elle magazine. I was going through the Elle magazine and I saw this page right here. This right here. These are corduroys. This winter, this fall, I guess corduroys is going to be the thing. And these are colors that fall into the fall colors. So I ripped the page out and I said, you know what? This is an awesome fall color palette. If, you know, minus the blue is beautiful, but minus the blue, this is right here for foliage, right? Like this is what you see when fall is here. Trees are changing, leaves are changing, everything is changing over. This is what you see. But then they added that blue there and I just thought that was pretty cool. So I ripped the page out and then I said, I'm going to go through my palette collection and I'm going to see if I have anything that matches this because I would like to talk about it. So according to this little color scheme right here, I came up with these palettes from my collection and here they are. So the first palette, as you can see from the pinup picture, is going to be my Viseart palette. And this is the Dark Mattes palette. This is what it looks like. You have here those oranges, you have the browns, you have the blue, the greens, the purples. This is a very pretty fall palette. And this is all matte. There's no shine, no shimmer to it. So if you are a fan of just matte, this is the palette for you. Now this is on the pricier side because this is a very high-end palette, so this is an $80 palette. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and splurge on this palette if you don't have it. What I'm saying is if you already have it in your collection, this is a great palette to pull out this time. You can pull it out any time of the year, but this would be the time to rock this palette, definitely. I mean, in my opinion. You know, I am no professional makeup artist. You know, I'm not... I don't do makeup for a living. I do this for fun. This is my hobby. I always say it. You know, I don't, you know, there's nothing professional about what I do here with my makeup. This to me is art. Like I always say, art, you know, makeup is art. There's no rules to this, in my opinion. Art, there's no rules to that. You can wear it as you please, draw it as you please, paint it as you please. And as long as it pleases you, that's all that matters. So now back to the palette. So yeah, this right here, I thought definitely matched this very, very, very well. So I said, all right, so this is my number one. I mean, not my number one palette, but this is one of the palettes that I picked out of my collection that matched this scheme right here. So again, this is an $80 palette. I'm not telling you to go out and get it. I'm just, for the purpose of this video, I thought it was fun to see what I had that matched this color scheme. Now this palette, if you know, if I'm gonna talk about it a little, this palette right here, the colors are like the pigmentation on this palette right here is awesome. A little goes a long way. The colors that I've used the most in this palette are definitely these four colors right here. On the side, they don't have no name, so I can't really give you a name. But these colors right here, I've used that green a lot. And I definitely use these purples. And this one right here, when I do use the palette, I use this one as a transition for me. But these palettes, the pigmentation on these palettes, I'm sure you've heard. This is not the first time this palette is being shown here. The pigmentation on these palettes is like off the wall. Like you really don't, you just tap your brush in there. There is fallout when you tap, as with any palette, because I still haven't found a palette that I can dip my brush in and there's no fallout. But I just tap my brush in there and get cut. Like right now, all over my lids, I'm only wearing one color, and that color is this one right here. This orangey color right there. That is the only color I'm wearing, and I all I did was just blend it out. I'm no professional here, so I just put it all over the lid lightly. I didn't want it to be like super bright orange, but that is the only thing I'm wearing. And a lot of the times, that's how I rock my eyeshadows. I do add some other colors when I want to be extra, but most of the time, if I'm gonna go outside and it's like I'm on a rush, I'm your normal everyday woman, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I don't have time to sit down and blend to the gods and put on a whole bunch of eyeshadows and blend away. I just have time to throw on something that makes me feel pretty that day and walk out the door. So today, all I have on is that orange shade right there, all over, and that is it. But yes, the pigmentation on this palette is 100. Like, you just dab and you can place it on your eyelids and you're good to go. Like, you don't really need to go in and go in and go in. You really don't need it. Okay, so that's one of the palettes. The next palette in my collection that I pulled out, that is newer to my collection, that I haven't tried out yet, but it is it does fall into that color scheme of that L page that I picked out, is the Subculture. And I'm sure that, okay, the brush fell out. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of videos on this palette. There is a lot of drama surrounding this palette, but it does fall into this color scheme right here. So I picked it out, took it out, and decided to talk about it because now this palette right here runs you for $42, and as you guys already know, there is another sister palette to this already out on the market. It's called the Prism palette, and in my opinion, like, I've looked at the Prism palette, and that's not a palette that I'm gonna run out and buy because I already have this one. And although everyone has their different opinions, you can't really form your own opinion if you don't have it. Like, you have to try it out. And I'm not saying go out and buy it and then form an opinion. You can go to the Sephora store, wherever the palette is carried. Go and try it out there before you walk out the store with something. Before you make a choice and walk out the store with something that you may or may not like. So, again, this is a $42 palette, and I haven't tried it out yet, so I can't say this is a great palette, this is not a great palette. Pigmentation is awesome, pigmentation is not awesome, but according to the information that was given about this palette, you know, on the website, this palette is supposed to be an all pigment palette. So I'm assuming that these colors will probably be very, very, very pigmented. But again, like I was saying about the Prism palette, which is the sister palette to this one that just came out, in my opinion, again, that is a palette that I won't be purchasing because this palette looks very, very, very similar to that one. And I just don't feel the need to go out and get another palette of something that I already have. For example, I'm picking out some palettes here following that color scheme that all have that color scheme. I don't need yet another palette to add to that color scheme. So I will stick with this one. If I don't know if I like it or not, but I'll form an opinion and then I'll get back to you and tell you what I think about it. But yes, this fell into this color scheme right here, and this is another palette that I think will be great for the fall. Another palette that fell into that one is the Nubian 2 palette. This one I have used. This is what it looks like. This is the color scheme. Kind of got dark there. This is the color scheme, and this is the palette. So it does fall into the color scheme I'm talking about, this palette right here. So this is the third palette in my collection that falls into that color scheme right there. I think this would be, if you have this in your collection, this is a great fall palette to have and to definitely get some use out of now in the fall. The colors that I've used most in this palette would be Kenya, which is this one right here, and I've used this one, Madagascar and Morocco, and Jezebel. Definitely, those are the colors. Okay, one moment while I turn this alarm off because it will ring all day. Okay. That right there, people, is my alarm for mama gotta get ready for work. Again, back to this right here. This Nubian palette. The colors that I've used the most are Madagascar, Morocco, Kenya, Egypt, which is that green one right there. And I've used Nefertiti. Nairobi. I'm not sure if I used Nairobi. I think I did. And yeah. I really like these colors. This one right here, I try using as I think I've used it as an inner corner highlight. I think this is one of the better palettes, in my opinion, one of the better palettes. I haven't tried the other ones, but according to a lot of the information, this is one of the better palettes out of the collection. I mean, everybody is in love. She has a whole bunch of them now. And currently, if you guys are interested in this one, or any of the other palettes, they are on sale on the Juvias Place website. And this palette runs you for $30, but it is currently on sale for $28, I think it is. But in my opinion, these blend out well. The mattes are great, so they definitely are very blendable. The shimmers in here, the ones with the sheen right here, they do have a lot of sheen. There is fallout with this palette. I would definitely say use an eyeshadow, what do you call it? Not an eyeshadow, not for the, well, you could put the glitter primer on, but definitely use an eyeshadow primer, not to pick up pigment, but so that the ones with sheen can sort of stick, if you catch my drift. Yes, so this is the third palette in my collection that resembles this palette scheme right here. The fourth palette in my collection would be the more affordable palette. Is this palette right here, which is no stranger to the YouTube makeup world. And this is the Comfort Zone palette. So the only color in here that's really probably missing would be that orange. You can probably substitute it with this one right here. Again, it does fall into this color scheme right here, and this is the most affordable one. This runs you for $4.99, and in a lot of locations you can probably find it for $3.29, $3.99. It all depends on the website. On the Wet n Wild website, you will find it for $4.99. In here, you don't have the only thing, my gripe with this palette is you don't have any mattes. These are all sheen. And this one right here it carries a little bit of glitter, that dark one right there. And then this one right here, that's the blue one. It is sort of a duochrome-like shadow. So that one is not, obviously, it's not a matte. None of these are mattes. They all have sheen to it. So you probably, if you like your mattes, you would probably want to pair this with another palette, with another matte palette. Probably a Wet n Wild palette. Wet n Wild has great matte, some pretty good matte shadows when you're on a budget. I mean, let's be real here. It's if you're on a budget and you go there, you can make something work, although you probably have to make it work a little harder, but you can make something work. So Wet n Wild does carry some mattes that are pretty good. But yes, this fell into that color scheme right here, and I wanted to talk about it. And then, those four palettes were the only palettes that I had. I did have another palette that I could have added to this color scheme right here, but it is a limited edition palette, so I felt kind of like a jerk if I mentioned it, and then you guys can't get your hands on it anymore. So I was like, I'm not even gonna mention it. But I did make one myself, this color scheme right here. I do have a lot of Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and like no one talks about these eyeshadows anymore. I remember when I used to watch YouTube back in the days before I had my channel, this was like the thing. Makeup Geek eyeshadows was the thing. But this right here, I made this palette. I picked out from the colors that I already have. I picked out and I made this palette right here, this color scheme palette out of the Makeup Geek eyeshadows that I already have. Now, this is 8 eyeshadows from the Makeup Geek collection, and Makeup Geek eyeshadows in one single eyeshadow runs you for $6, depending on which one you get. Because I think the duochromes are probably $10, and the what is it? She has duochromes, and then she has the ones that are like ultra, like they're not glittery. I don't want to say they're glittery, but they're like ultra shine, and I think those run you for like $10 too. But here I have this one. It has a little bit of this one has sheen. This one has sheen. This one is everybody's favorite. This is bitten. I mean, it's my favorite. And then this one right here. This one is, which one is this one? This one is, oh, Cocoa Bear. This is another favorite. And then you have that orange right there. You have the greens right here, and you have the blue. So I was able to pull out of my collection already something that I already have and created this color scheme right here. So, you know, I would definitely recommend this option right here. If you decided to go with this option right here, this option would run you for what I think $48, because each eyeshadow is $6, and then it depends which one you get. Some of them are 10, but I mean, I'm sure there are cheaper alternatives out there with single shadows, but her eyeshadows, the pigment on her eyeshadows are awesome. I've always loved her eyeshadows. Again, I have a pretty extensive collection of these eyeshadows. If that's something you guys would like to see, leave me a comment down below. I would love to talk about my Makeup Geek eyeshadows. Again, I think that this is a great color scheme, and it fell into this right here, and I keep pulling this up. It's probably getting annoying to you guys, right? But it did fall into the color scheme, and I said that is awesome. And I would definitely recommend you guys to make that an option. If makeup companies are selling like single eyeshadows and you guys don't want to go and buy a full palette, don't fall into the rabbit hole. I fell into a rabbit hole of buying makeup, and that is a whole nother video that I probably will be making, because, you know, I feel like you fall, when you get into this YouTube world, this makeup world, you fall into this rabbit hole where you start buying anything and everything that is hyped up, and, you know, it's really not, at the end of the day, you end up with all this makeup that you're like, am I really getting use out of this? Like, this is not getting any use because it doesn't fit my color, or it's not, you know, that's not something that's geared towards me, because I am a darker girl. I am not, you know, very, very light. So I need things, I started purchasing things that definitely gear towards me, towards my color, towards my darker complexion, because having all these light products, that doesn't show up on me. And if it does show up on me, it shows up powdery, and it does not look cute, because then you walk outside looking all ashy, and again, that doesn't look cute. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend that if you like certain eyeshadow colors, but there are different companies like Makeup Geek, I think Anastasia, Beverly Hills sells single eyeshadows, Buxom sells single eyeshadows. Get the colors that you like, that you know you're going to use, and use that. Make your own palette. Don't fall into this, I need to get all these palettes, I need to buy that, you really don't need all of this. For example, I have 5 color palettes that match this scheme right here, and do I need that many palettes? No, I don't need that many palettes. I don't need all those palettes for fall right now. You know what I'm saying? But I fell into that rabbit hole, and now I have 5 palettes that have all the same color scheme. I probably would have been well off with just one of them. But again, that's another video. So yeah, I thought it was fun to make this video see what I had in my collection that matched this color scheme, and that is what I did. So I definitely do recommend for the fall, and these beautiful colors right here, those palettes right there. Except for the Subculture, because I haven't used this yet. You can make your own, form your own opinions about that by going to the store and checking it out. But yeah, so that's it. That completes this video. I know it's a very long video and nobody likes long videos anymore. It's like getting YouTube. I don't know the turn that YouTube is taking. It's taking a turn, and you know, I don't know if I like it, because it's like nobody wants to watch long videos anymore. Everything is hyped up. Everybody's upset if you're doing something sponsored. Everybody's upset if you're doing like it's really a hard audience to please. It really is. And before I end this video, we can't forget the lipstick of the day, which is what I'm wearing today. And that is Russian Red. By MAC. I've really been digging these colors. Like, I've really been digging reds. If you've noticed from my previous video, I had on a red, like an orangey red, and now I have on this red. I've really been digging reds. So let's see how long that phase lasts for me. But yes, I really have been digging reds, and that is my lipstick of the day. And now, that completes this video. Remember to be kind, costs nothing, means a million to someone, anyone, guaranteed. Guaranteed that you will make somebody's day with a little bit of kindness. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.